On this episode of the Whiskey Tornado, we review Booker's Lumberyard Batch. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Whiskey Tornado. I'm your host, Lance, and today we are reviewing Booker's 2022-02 Lumberyard Batch. That's a mouthful. For you guys that have followed the channel, you know that I have been hit and miss on Booker's, and in the past, it's just been too expensive for me to buy a lot of them. It's just not worth it in the value department for me. That being said, last year, the Bardstown batch came out and blew me away. In fact, it won our Bourbon of the Year for 2021. For those of you that are new to the channel, we crowdsource our bourbon voting for Bourbon of the Year. So throughout the year, I take my top 5 highest scored bourbons that I found on the shelf at MSRP, send those to our top Patreon members. We taste those on a live stream to find our Bourbon of the Year. And last year, Booker's Bardstown Batch won. So to say my hopes are high for Lumberyard Batch is an understatement. I'm really looking forward to reviewing this for you guys today. What we're gonna do is give it the Whiskey Tornado score, and then I am gonna taste it not against the Bardstown Batch, but I'm gonna taste it against Larceny. I just did a review on that. It was in my top 5 of 2022 so far. And that bourbon is a $55 to $60 bourbon. We're gonna see how it compares to a $100 bourbon, because in that review, I thought that Larceny tasted a lot like Booker's. So we're gonna find out if I was right or wrong on that. All right, for those of you new to the Whiskey Tornado, I'll quickly review our scoring system. If you've heard this a million times, just use the timestamps below, skip ahead to the chapter you wanna see. Here on the Whiskey Tornado, we have 7 categories. We rank 0 to 1, 0.5 being an average score in each category. Our first 2 categories are handicapped. That is availability and appearance. Then we rate the nose, palate, finish, body, and value. We add all those scores up. Any score of 3 or better means it's bar worthy. Feel safe buying that for your bar. Any score of 4 or better means it's bunker worthy. Buy some extra ones just in case the bourbon you love is no longer made. All right, with all that being said, let's get into the appearance of Booker's Lumberyard Batch. All right, guys, so if Jim Beam does one thing right, it is the packaging on Booker's. I mean, they knock it out of the park. They give you this awesome box. They give you a wax top. They give you a ribbon. They give you nice labeling that still looks a little old-fashioned. They give you a card that explains the story behind each batch. The marketing is on point. It is, there's no one better in the game on appearance. It's a 1 in my book. All right, as far as availability is concerned, every year this gets harder and harder to find. You used to be able to find these on shelves. Now they're pretty allocated. I did not find this on the shelf. I got this from Ray at Harvest Market, so shout out to them. But I was not able to find this on the shelf. If I do, it will enter our Bourbon of the Year category if it ranks high enough. But as of now, this will not be eligible for our Bourbon of the Year running. Because as you guys know, in order for it to be in our Bourbon of the Year running, and I have to find it on the shelves and buy it at MSRP. I figure, what's the point of rating a Bourbon of the Year if nobody can buy it or find it? All right, with all that being said, let's get a pour of this Booker's Lumberyard Batch. I am excited to get into this for you guys today. So this is coming in at 124.8 proof. The age is 7 years, 1 month, and 7 days. So a lot of the Bookers lately have been in that 6-year age range. So this is over 7 years. So stats on it look great. So really interested to see here. Let's get into this nose. So I got brown sugar there. There is some nuttiness. Always on Booker's you get nuttiness. And that's why I thought the Larceny B522 batch reminded me of Booker's, was because of the nuttiness I got on it. The nose is a little hot, coming off a little astringent, a little like magic marker E, if that makes sense. It's a good nose. I'm getting lots of vanilla there. Butterscotch, definitely some butterscotch on the nose here, some cinnamon, lots of vanilla, nuttiness, a little bit of magic marker. The nose is pretty good. I'm not sure about that magic marker note I'm picking up. It's kind of, it's not putting this in that exceptional category for me on the nose, but still really nice. I mean, you're smelling this, you know, you're going to drink a good bourbon. Nose is nice. I like the brown sugar note on it, so we're going to give it a 0.7 on the nose. All right, I know our Patreon members, Ed Sturger and Ed Bell, are waiting for this, so here we go to the palate. Cheers, everybody. Oh, not so sure. The first thing I got was your typical Booker's nuttiness. A little bit of vanilla. Man, that was astringent. Kind of drying on the palate. Not digging that. Let me, and this is not my first bourbon of the day, so let me take another sip here. Man, it's astringent. It's peppery, nutty. That magic marker note I was getting on the nose is in spades on the palate, and it's really throwing me off. Man, this is a big miss for me. This is a big miss for me. See, this is what Booker's does to me, man. I had stopped buying Booker's for so long, and then the Bardstown batch came out, and it blew me away, and it was worthy of our Bourbon of the Year category, and our Patreon members voted it Bourbon of the Year. I don't know. It's nutty, a little bit of cinnamon. There's not a lot of notes there, guys. I cannot get past the astringency, the drying, and the magic marker note that I'm picking up. This isn't good. I'm gonna rate the palate less than average. I don't know, guys. I'm at a loss. I have not seen any reviews for this. So when I review bourbons and whiskeys, I really try not to watch any reviews because I want to give you guys my opinion. I don't want to be influenced by any other opinion. So I'm really curious to see what other people think about this. You know, if you like that peanut caramel brown sugar note that's so prevalent in a lot of Jim Beam products, you might really still like this. To me, it's just that there is a magic marker note in there that I do not like. I find it as a fault, honestly. I'll take one more sip. I'm trying to convince myself this is better than it is, but it's not good. I mean, I can't picture a world where I go reaching for this. That's what sucks. It's a $100 bourbon. I'm going to give the palate a 0.4. It is less than average in my opinion. For my palate, it's not hitting me right. It's a miss. Sorry, guys. All right, as far as the body goes, you know, it's 124 proof. It's 7 years old. Jim Beam bodies, the bodies on their whiskey is always good, especially on Booker's products. So we're going to give it better than average, but it's not exceptional, not blowing me away either. It's a 0.6. All right, moving on to the finish. I'm going to take one more sip of this, guys. The finish is dry, astringent. It's not even that long. It's less than average as well. The finish is a 0.4. All right, last category, value. Let's taste this against Larceny Barrel Proof Batch B522, which is my second highest rated bourbon of the year so far. This, when I said in the review, this reminded me of a good Booker's but more rounded, probably because of that weeded mash bill. It was just softer. It was like Booker's sitting on clouds, in my opinion. So I'm going to taste these side by side, because now we are comparing, you know, a $60 bourbon versus a $100 bourbon. Now, the packaging on Booker's is way better, but that's why our appearance category is handicapped, because who really cares about appearance? I mean, I want it to look good on my bar, but if what's in the bottle is better, then I'm buying the bourbon that has the better juice inside, right? So, all right, let's go here. If you guys haven't seen, these are our Whiskey Tornado Frosted Glens, and you can pick those up at whiskeytornado.com. I mean, the nose on the Larceny is so much better. So much better. Okay, I'm going to taste the Larceny first. Oh, there's no question. There's no question. You guys that are buying Booker's over Larceny, at least this B522 batch, are crazy. I'm going to taste Booker's back to back with it. Yeah, Booker's is just always comes off, or most of the batches come off too astringent, too spiky for me. They fight me too much. This just has that dry marker note that I am not a fan of, and it's putting me off, and I can't get past it. I'm curious to know if any of you guys are getting the same thing on this, or if it's just me. It might just be me. But yeah, I'm gonna say the value on the Booker's Lumberyard batch is a 0.1 at $100. You know, you're really paying for the packaging. The bourbon inside is not that good to me. It's just too astringent. If I had $100, I would go with the Larceny B522 batch 1,000 times over. I mean, this is just well-rounded. It's like Booker's sitting on pillows. It's just so nice and gentle, and packed full of flavor, just more rounded, more cohesive. The Booker's batch just isn't that good to me. So anyway, that's my score, 0.1. The overall score for Booker's Lumberyard batch comes to a 2.85, and I would say it is not bar worthy, and this is the reason why I don't buy many Bookers. It just doesn't hit for $100, and then occasionally one will blow you away, and that's what's driving me crazy with Bookers. Man, just make them all good. You know you've got the stock there. And this is even older, so I was really looking forward to this, but just didn't do it for me, guys. Sorry. Booker's Lumberyard batch, not bar worthy. Hope this helps you guys decide what to buy and what to leave on the shelves. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I love hearing from you guys. If you want to be a bigger part of the channel, feel free to join our Patreon community for as little as $2 a month. The link is in the description below. You guys will know ahead of time whether I hunt bottles, what bottles are bunker worthy. I always post those in Patreon first so you guys can beat the rush. All right, guys, I'm not toasting you out with the Bookers. I'm toasting you out with this Larceny. Cheers, everybody. God, that Larceny's so good. Come on, Booker. Man, disappointing. Disappointing. I was really looking forward to giving that a hell of a review, but just not worth $100. Screwing people.